If you're a content creator and you are thinking of building and launching a community for your brand, for your content, you are on the right track, Boss Lady. Today, I'm going to share with you the top 3 questions you definitely need to answer to build a thriving community, but not just any community, a community that lasts. And it's coming up next. So you're a content creator, you are creating content, you are posting that content all over everywhere you can, and you have a digital product that's doing well, or a course, or maybe even a coaching program. And the logical next step is to create a community that gathers those who are following you, whether they are following you on social and did not buy into your product yet, or they're following you because they already bought into your offer. The logical next step now is to bring all those people together, because now you want to make sure that you can continue to guide them along. And the best way to guide them along to truly reach their goals is to surround your content around a community. Now, I am no stranger to community. Being a teacher for 18 years, I know a thing or two about building a community. The picture to the left is the main part of the community that I built. The picture in the middle is another part of the community that I built. And the picture to the right is where we assembled for that community. There is no better training ground than building a community than being a teacher. And this is a community that I loved. And I learned a lot about community because this was my skill set, being a teacher. And all of that rich content that I learned by being a teacher and building a community around education, I brought all of that rich knowledge and experience into my content creator community for my business and my brand, my own community, the community that I built, which was a logical next step. You see, I started teaching back in 1998, and 7 years in, I started feeling like there were layers to me that I had not even peeled back yet. And so even though I knew since 3rd grade I would be a teacher and I was building a community around that space, I felt something else pulling me. I felt like there was a bigger part of me that I had not tapped into yet. And so I left teaching 7 years in to pursue more of my purpose. And that's where I found entrepreneurship. And I have been running a business ever since. When I left teaching for the first time, I say left first time because I left teaching 3 times, almost 4. I have a video on that you might want to check out. But when I left the first time, I really left to pursue the other part of my purpose that teaching just did not fulfill. So let's look at the gradual sequence of events here. I was a full-time educator, teaching in the classroom. I left teaching to pursue entrepreneurship, launched my first book. That was my first offer. Offer turned into coaching, coaching turned into speaking, and speaking turned into what I want to talk about today, and that is a community. Community really seemed like a very logical next step, and it is working, and I think it's what I was headed toward the entire time. I literally recreated what I learned to do as a teacher, and that is build a community. Stick around with me because in a bit, I'm going to share with you the exact 3 questions you need to answer to build your community. And if you answer these 3 questions, you will build a community that is a thriving community, but not only a thriving community, it's a community that lasts. Now let's pop back over into the community I built, Cura Circle. So Cura Circle is an online community. You may choose an online community like this one, or you may choose an in-person community. The 3 questions that I'm going to share with you today that you definitely need to answer will apply to either type of community that you decide to build. Now, this is the homepage of my community. And then I have the welcome and the first steps, the first thing that my members do when they join. I have a meet and greet section. I have onboarding with me, where I take you on a personal tour of the community. I have my creator workspace, and I will talk about that a little bit more in just a bit. This will answer the 3rd question, which is the most important question that you need to answer when you build your community. Then we have our weekly check-ins. I check in with everybody once a week for that accountability piece. We have live co-working sessions. I love these sessions because these sessions are where my members all gather virtually and we all work on something specific for an hour. And while my members are working on whatever it is that they brought to work on, they can add questions in the chat to address any roadblocks that they're having that day. This co-working space gives women an opportunity to dedicate some time to work on something important, maybe a project or a launch that they have coming up. This is a space where we all come together and work together independently as business buddies, and we walk away with something done. If not done, very close to being done, or gradually working toward something being done. Then we have what I truly love, and that is our daily discussions. And so we have Motivation Monday, Touch Point Tuesday, Wealth Wednesday, Thankful Thursday, and the Fix It Friday. We even have something called Ask the Circle, and then we have Champion Challenges just to help us make sure we stay on track. The last thing I want to show you that I love so much is called Business Vital Signs. And so just like you go to the doctor and the first thing they do is check your vital signs, your temperature, they check your weight, they check your blood pressure, all the things that they need to make sure that you are healthy or at least heading toward healthiness. That's what this is. So you can check your business vital signs just to make sure that your business is healthy. I may have time to go back in a bit to show you more, but you get the gist that a community can do all sorts of things that you want it to do. But I want to wrangle the ideas that you have in your head and categorize all those ideas about the community that you want to build and put them into 3 buckets. And those 3 buckets are based on the 3 questions that I'm going to cover today to help you build your community. If this is resonating with you, and if I'm talking good, go ahead and press that like button and subscribe, because I will never stop creating ways for you to be a successful online entrepreneur, honey. Let's really define what a community is. Now, am I saying you cannot create a community unless you followed my path of offers? Not at all. If you want to start out with the community, that works too. So with that said, let's take a look at what a community is. A community is a vibrant space where like-minded individuals connect to share, grow, and accomplish a common goal. It's a dynamic space filled with collaboration, synergy, and support so all can succeed. If you want to build a community based on this definition, you are watching the right video, honey, and you are in the right space. There are 3 questions that you definitely need to answer, and I'll break down each of these questions so you better understand exactly what you're getting into. So let's talk about those 3 questions I mentioned. The first question you need to answer before you start building is, who is the community for? The second question is, what's the purpose? And the third question, which is the absolute most important question, is why should they stay? If you can answer why they should stay or why they should continue to be a part of your community, that totally will make your community last. Let's deep dive into each question. So the first question is, who is the community for? If you've been following my content, you know anybody that says to me, Angela, I want to be a content creator. Angela, I really want to launch. I really want to be a content creator. I'm ready for this. I know that there's more for me than I am doing on my job, or there's more for me that I'm doing in my life right now. I have things in my head. I have expertise. I have knowledge that people need. And I agree with you, honey. Everybody knows a lot about something. And what I am all about is teaching women of faith how to monetize that knowledge of yours. And so the very 2 things you have to answer to even consider yourself as a content creator is, who do you help and what do you help them do? If you can answer those 2 questions, you are a content creator. And so as you build your community, you're going along with the first question of a content creator. Who is your community for? Now, the more concise you are with the answer to this question, the better your community will be. In other words, narrow down exactly the person that you can help in your community. Not a broad statement. So the broad spectrum of what my community looks like is this: I help women. Okay. Narrow that some more. What kind of women? Women of faith, Narrow that down some more. Women of faith who are online entrepreneurs. Not that all women of faith entrepreneurs can't benefit, because there is a part of the Cura Circle where I connect with and guide and help any woman of faith entrepreneur. But that is the inner circle. And I won't go into depth on that today, because there are layers of what your community can offer. For the purposes of this video, the exact person who would be perfect for the community that I created, it's a woman who is a woman of faith, who is a woman of faith online entrepreneur, is a woman of faith who's an online entrepreneur that has or wants to launch a creator business. So let me give an example outside of what I offer. Maybe you love baking sweet potato pies and it's your grandma's recipe and everybody in the county loves your grandmother's recipe, and she handed that recipe down to you. You are living your life, loving your life, but you know there's something more. There's a missing legacy wealth piece in your life. A missing legacy wealth piece that your job or your career or your skill set is not affording you. Perfect. Love it. I can help you with that. If you love baking sweet potato pies, you can turn those sweet potato pies into a legacy wealth. Now, you might not know everything about sweet potato pies. As a matter of fact, your crust may be horrible, but that feeling though, that feeling is amazing. Well, there are people out there who want to make sweet potato pies and they don't know where to start, but they have something great too. They have a great crust recipe. Now, they're good on the crust. They don't need you for the crust, but their filling is nasty. It's terrible. That's where you fit in. So what are you saying, Angela? Be the filling. Create a whole community around the pie filling. Be the filling in someone's life. You might not know about the crust. You might not know about anything else, but you know about the filling. You could create a whole community about the filling of the pie, which is, to me, one of the best parts of the pie. So what that means is you don't have a community around baking, kind of broad. You don't have a community about baking pies, still kind of broad. You don't have a community about baking sweet potato pies, still a bit broad. Your community is all about the filling, and you will be surprised who is missing the filling in their life. And now we're just not talking about the pie. Be the filling. So, in a nutshell, who is your community for? And narrow it down to the exact person who wants to achieve the exact goal. And you build that community for that person to achieve that exact goal. Let's go into the next question, and that is, what is the purpose of your community? And that builds on who is the community for. Let's go back to the sweet potato pie community. All right. You know that sweet potato pie community is for bakers, but bakers who are interested in the filling. What is the purpose of the community? The purpose of the community is to perfect the filling of the pie. If the community is for bakers of sweet potato pies who are interested in the filling, the purpose of the community is to perfect the filling of the pie. In other words, you create that community for this specific person, but in the community, you're not there to just say you love baking sweet potato pies. You're there to perfect the filling. And you, as a community host, you as the leader in the community, guide them all the way through logical steps to get that perfect filling. And that's what they're there for. Now, that's what leads me to my very next question, and the most important question of all. And that is, why do they stay? What makes them want to stay? This is the future of communities. I call it the future effect. And not only is it the future of communities, it's also the reason why your community is going to last if you implement this third question. Here's what I mean by that. Even though you are building your community for a specific person and you are building your community for a specific purpose, you have to make sure that that once the people are there, you are meeting everybody's needs. Because although everybody in there is the same person who want to do the same thing, they are all at different stages and all need different things. Here's what I mean by that. When I built my classroom community, everybody in the community was a second grader. So that's the person. So that's who I built my community for. Everybody in there wanted to go to the second grade. That's the purpose of being in my classroom. Everybody in there had one purpose: graduate from beginner first grader to ending second grader with everything you need, especially the knowledge to get to graduate to the third grade. Even though I knew exactly who was in my community and exactly why they were there, I had to make sure that my community was built around meeting the needs of each individual person. Here's what that looks like. Some people in my community were high achievers. They actually were already reading on a third grade level, and that was my A group. Right? So my A group, when they came to the table, I made sure that I met them at their need. There's no way I'm going to give them a kindergarten level book. They were already reading at almost third grade level. My B group, they were right where they needed to be as a second grader. So when they came to my table, I made sure that I taught them and positioned them to get to the A level. Right? And then my C group, when they came to my table, I made sure that I gave them what they needed to graduate them to the B level, to the second grade level, even though everybody's goal was to get to the third grade. Here is how that applies to you. Some people in your community are going to want to come to your table, and those that come to your table, you want to make sure that you meet them at the point of their need. They need you to walk them step by step by step by step, because they're your C group and they are on a kindergarten level, but you need to get them to the third grade, right? So you're going to nurture them and guide them and lead them and educate them, because they need that one-on-one attention. Your C group, they may not need your one-on-one attention. They might never come to your events. They might never come to your workshops, but they need that recipe. They need the steps, and they can take those steps and go on their own. So you don't want to have a community that's all about just meet and greets. You don't want to have a community that's just about workshops and events. You want to have something in your community that your C flyers, your overachievers, your advanced people, they can take your information and run with it. That's another reason why your members are going to stay, because they feel like I have what I need in here, right? Your C flyers have what they need one-on-one. Your A flyers have what they need. Just give me the information and let me go. Right? And then your B flyers, who are in the middle, they have both. What they're going to do is they're going to lean on you when they need you, and then they're going to go on their own when they don't. The future effect that I want to talk about that is going to make your community last is this. Out of everything that I've said about the why your members are going to stay, the one thing that is going to be constant, whether they're an A, B, or C flyer, is the transformation that they get. In other words, if they don't make that perfect feeling that they joined your community to make, they're not going to stay. They are there for transformation. Yes, they need the recipes. Yes, they need your one-on-one. Yes, they need support. Yes, they need resources, but they need the transformation. And they will decide, let your community decide where they fit in everything you have to offer. In other words, there were flyers in my community who were already reading at third grade level. They just needed to connect. They just needed a little bit of my time, right? So in those cases, I let those kids read to me. Right? They just needed that connection. They didn't need to learn how to read. They were already above level, but they needed the connection. They would read to me. Or I would partner a C flyer with an A flyer. You see where I'm going with this? The future of community is the transformation that people are going to get by being in your community. And they will stay as long as they're getting results. They will stay as long as they see the results coming. They will stay as long as they feel like they're progressing. That is the future of community, and that is the transformation. Here is why I know for sure. Let's go back to the classroom community that I built. In education, there are parents that take their kids out of one classroom and put them into another classroom all the time. There were several times when a parent would take their child out of another classroom and put them into my classroom, not because I was a superior teacher, but because the connection there, but because of the way that I ran my classroom, but because of the transformation that they knew I could provide for their kid. It was a great fit. So they moved them. People will stay as long as they see the transformation happening or coming in the pipeline or coming along the way. That brings me back to my community that I built, Cura Circle. Now, I got to be honest with you. I didn't future-proof my community when I first started out. When I first started my community, I did what I knew how to do. I created a space where people gathered. I answered the number one question, who is my community for, and narrowed it down to the exact person who would be a good fit for my community. I answered the second question, what is the purpose of my community? I knew the exact purpose of why the community existed in the first place. But what I learned along the way is what I'm teaching you now. Once you have the who and you know the what, once you know the who and you know the what, the why needs to come soon after. And that is why I revamped my entire community. I knew that I needed to future-proof and create a community that was going to last. In other words, I needed to make sure I locked down my why. Why do you need to stay with me? Why would you stay with me? I have to earn that, right? There are communities all over the internet and in person, and people have their free will and choice to go wherever they want. And I needed to make sure I created a reason for the people who are in my community or the people who are going to join my community. I had to give them a reason to stay. Right? So what did I do? I remodeled. I took my existing community, I took the existing structure that I had, and I made improvements. I knocked out some walls, honey, and I remodeled for an improvement. And that leads me to my very big announcement. So going back to my community, how does that apply, Angela? How did you future-proof? How did you create a community that is going to last? I have lots of events. I have weekly check-ins, pop-up workshops, co-working sessions, special events. That's for the people who need it. I have courses and cohorts. That's for the people who need it. But I also have my favorite part, and that's my business vital signs. In other words, you have a reason to stay no matter where you are in your journey as an online entrepreneur, a content creator, a creatorpreneur. And that is, I'm going to always give you a checkup. I'm going to always give you the information that you need to make sure that your business is healthy. And that's with our business vital signs. An example of that looks like this. Here's a post in our business vital signs space, and it's a customer service plan checkup. Check your business vital signs. How close are you to completing your system for providing stellar customer service? All right. So here, you get to check on your business to see where you are. And customer service may be nowhere on your radar. Because you're part of the Cura Circle, I make sure that you are consistently working toward a healthy business that is profitable, a healthy business that is growing, a healthy business that will become your legacy wealth builder. Another thing that I want to share with you is the Resource Vault. Now, the Resource Vault is so cool because it gives you all the things that you need to build while you're working in your business. I love this part of my community, which leads to future-proof of my community, a community that answers the why stay, because I'm always uploading and adding more resources. And as long as you are a member, you have access to the resources. This answers the why stay, right? I love the graphic that I created for the community. Boss your business. You got to boss your business. So what does that mean for you? Well, not only do you have exactly the 3 questions that you need to build your community, not just any community, a community that lasts. But that's not all you have. I am inviting you to my big reveal party. Remember when I shared that I went back to the drawing board and I took my community and remodeled it to make sure that I future-proofed it to become a community that lasts? Well, I am having a huge remodel reveal party, and you are invited. Now, why would you come to something like that? Well, because it will give you 2 things. It will give you a bird's eye view at what the entire community looks like and what I built. And I'll be talking more in that party about why I did what I did, why I made the choices that I made for my community, and what the future-proofing my community looks like, and it will give you an opportunity to see if this is something that you want to be part of to build your online business. So you are invited. Get the inside scoop on the future of community. The future of community is here. People are not just getting a community and putting their credit card in that computer because they feel like giving their money away. They are giving their money and joining communities because they want a specific result. They want a specific transformation. And the community that you build, if it doesn't do that, they may join for the thing, but they won't stay if they don't get to the third grade. You know, based on the analogy and example I gave. All right. So I want you to come to the reveal party. There's lots of reasons to come. I gave you 2. You can get a bird's eye view on what a future-proof community looks like, because I'm going to give the entire tour. I'm going to talk about everything that I did to make it future-proof. You're going to get to see if this is something that you want to be a part of, because we never stop creating ways for you to succeed in the circle, honey. But a third reason is because I'm giving away prizes. I'm going to be giving away knowledge. I'm going to be giving away a membership. I'm going to be giving away a gift card. You do not want to miss it. The only thing you have to lose is an hour of your time. And I scheduled it for 6:30 in the evening on June the 18th so that those who work during the day can attend. So here is what you need to do. The only thing you need to do is go to the link that is on your screen. I will also add the link in today's show notes. It will cost you nothing to attend. I just want you to celebrate with me and help yourself as well. Get the knowledge that I'm going to be dropping in the community about how I built, what platform I used to build it. I'm going to be sharing all of that and also see exactly how we can help you grow and launch your online business as a content creator and possibly get the prizes, honey. Come for the prizes. So the link is in the show notes. You can also grab the link here on the screen. You can do this. Don't think you can't. The last thing I want you to do is walk away saying this possibly cannot be for me. I don't have any of this. Girlfriend, you got me. Boss lady, you can do this because you got me. If you know anything about anything, you can have a community. Whether you already have a following and a product or have no following and no product at all, this can still work because I'm going to show you how. I'm going to take you every step of the way till you get to that result. And I won't stop until you realize that vision in your head of your very own community. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Don't forget to sign up to join me for the reveal party because it is going to be amazing. Celebrate with me and walk away with your very next step at the same time. If you got anything out of this video, hit the like button and subscribe so that you can get all the forthcoming content every Thursday. That notification bell is going to tell you exactly what's coming up. And if you're still working a full-time job and you want to be what I call an EE, employee and entrepreneur, check out the video that pops up in just a bit. It talks about why I left teaching 3 times, almost 4, and it may give you some insight on how you can transition from where you are in your journey. Thank you so much for being here, Boss Lady. Until next time, never stop creating. Check out the next video on the screen. Bye for now.